Behind steel doors, locked from view, lies an army with a secret power. Introducing Megaforce, the army of hidden forces. Ramfist crushes the enemy, while its secret elevator lowers an attack craft. Cargo planes pick up reinforcements. Missiles fire at will, and the helipad launches on your command. Each sold separately, the army of hidden forces. Megaforce from Kenner.
Welcome back to another Plasticon review. Today we're going to cover some more of these Megaforce things. And this one here is a Rocs vehicle called Thunderbolt. Here's Thunderbolt. It is a gigantic carrier. Much like your aircraft vehicle carriers that they have nowadays where they actually carry like a payload. This thing is really neat. One thing mine is missing are the gigantic blades. It's supposed to be a helicopter, but to be honest, even without the blades, it still is really cool because it still looks like it has gigantic jet engines, so it still works. That's something, you know, you guys can kind of look past when it comes to purchasing one, if you do happen to have one without blades. Because imagination, imagine that. Anyhow, let's go ahead and check out this little rocket launcher it comes with. The rocket launcher is completely different on this one. It is a really dark brown with this crazy color of like, I don't know, it's almost like a royal blue kind of deco. It does have the tampering right there on the top for its Rocs faction. Not to mention the rocket itself has got all the same kind of markings that the other ones do that I had reviewed earlier. If you haven't seen that review, go back and check it out. But it doesn't have a whole lot of other detail. A little bit of black marking there inside the vents on the back, but that is primarily it. This little die-cast thing is just packed with detail and it is awesome. And go get them because they're cool. Anyhow, let's move on and look at the main event here. Let's look at Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is a gigantic carrier, like I said. It's got a lot of guns on him. It's got these guns here that can move up and down on the nose portion. Not to mention these that are on the engine pods. And these will turn completely around, so they do 360 degrees. It does also have the missiles here, and these missiles come off just like your G.I. Joe vehicles. They have the whole dog bone thing going on, and it has a lot of riveting detail and such throughout the entire missile itself. These things are a bright orange, so they're really cool. It does look neat and adds a whole lot of, you know, a little more playability to this thing other than it just being a carrier. Taking a look at the carrier itself, this entire cockpit is just packed with just windows all over. It's very interesting. This thing does look like something out of the Raiden games. I love it. And I like this style of camo they have, just kind of going in one angle, slashed all the way across the entire thing. It's very cool. It does add a lot to it. It almost looks like lightning bolts. You know, Thunderbolt, get it. Anyway, the back's got a ton of detail packed in there. Just so much. You can see all these riveting and where the wheels are and all these hydraulic pistons, and it's just loaded. Not to mention the bottom. The bottom actually has a lot as well. You will have to excuse a little bit of the marker on here because I did get this in the aftermarket, and the previous owner apparently had their kid write their name on there. I cannot seem to get it off. I've tried different ways of trying to get it off, and I really don't want to damage the toy. But the engines themselves and these guns are just loaded with detail. There's so much little bitty rivets and just panel lining and just amazing stuff going on here. Not to mention the landing gear. It just has a lot going on for it, even under here. Now this does open. And the reason this here has an opening mechanism is because this is designed to allow you to pick up and drop off vehicles on the battlefield. It's a very cool gimmick, and I haven't seen this gimmick really used that much lately. It's just something you don't really see in toys anymore. Very cool detail here, even with a little bit of detail on the back as if those are windows in the rear. Another cool feature this thing has is it's got an opening canopy, and whenever you do open the canopy, you can easily put the tank or whatever vehicle you want to inside of it. And taking a look at the inside of this canopy, it actually does not have a whole lot of detail in here, which is really weird considering every one of these toys were loaded with detail on the inside. They didn't do much here. It is interesting though that they do have large window door kind of things here, so it's as if, you know, if they're paratroopers, they would just jump out the sides on this thing. I do like this thing a lot. Like I said, the only thing I can see as a flaw when it comes to these things is trying to find one with the helicopter blades. They do just pop onto these little things, and trying to find the little missiles that come along with it. Other than that, there's not much that can be broken on these, which is really cool. And it's a very solid little toy. I mean, it's not like you're going to have to assemble the whole mechanism on the back or even put the canopy on the front. So it's got a lot of playability throughout the whole toy and not have to worry about looking for a lot of lost parts. It does come with a little die-cast vehicle, this little rocket launcher, and that's primarily your lot for that. Anyhow, this has been Plasticon. This has been yet another Megaforce review. You guys stay tuned because I have plenty more coming your guys' way. And that's it for now. Bye!